Hi, and welcome to another week of Reading, Rambling in Real Life with Jeanette on the channel Jane Reads. So today I am kicking this off on Sunday, February the 15th, instead of Monday, because I am roping my husband Andrew in to help me pick my books for this week. So this week, starting tomorrow, February the 16th to the 22nd, is the mini deck of TBR that is being hosted by Bekah and Chloe. So you draw a card and then pick a prompt, and we have prompt levels of 1 point, 2 points, or 5 points. No, 1.3 points or 5 points. And so he will draw 2 cards for me, one for a physical read and one for an audiobook. At this point in time, I have 3 books left on my February TBR from when I played my TBR refresh game at the beginning of the month. So those are the 3 books I'm hoping to read at some point this week, but I only have all 3 of them in physical, like on my Kindle. So I need at least 1 audiobook. So that is why Andrew is going to draw 2. So he's going to come in on his knees.
Hi, I'm Jeanette's first husband.
And my only.
Oh, okay. You've had enough of me. I don't blame you.
Okay. So, draw 1 card. Ooh. It is an ace. An ace. I've got the wrong side here.
I aced it? There you go.
You did. It is a free pick for 5 points, so I can choose whatever book I want. So this will definitely be one of my physical reads, I think.
You didn't set this up. This is actually the one I picked? Okay.
Okay, let's try that again for book number 2. And that is a 5, and a 5 is any book the host has read. A host rated the book 4 or 5 stars, and is a host favorite from 2025. Okay, this one I'm going to have to do some research on. So Bekah, either Bekah or Chloe have had to reread this book, whatever book I pick here, at some point. And depending what book I end up picking, it'll find out what points. So I'm going to do some research, and I will let you know what book I pick. And once I know that, I will let you know what book I pick for this one as well.
Will you let me know?
At some point, yes.
Oh, okay.
And then once I finish one of these books, or both of these books, you will be back to draw more if they finish before the end of the week.
You sure you want me back?
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm her only and first husband, so maybe that's why.
Okay, so let me choose and I will let you know.
Okay, bye.
It is now Monday, February the 16th, and I can officially start reading the books for the mini deck of TBR. So last night, as you saw, Andrew drew an ace and a 5. So an ace was a free pick. So that was pretty, like, I could choose whatever I wanted, which is almost too open. But 5 of the 5 kind of really made me think and do some research. So my prompts were, for 1 point, I could read any book the host has read. For 3 points, I could read a book that the host has rated 4 or 5 stars. Or for 5 points, I could do a host favorite from 2025. So I went immediately to Chloe's videos to see what was her favorites from 2025. I had watched them previously, but I couldn't remember them all, right? And Chloe is more likely to read similar books as me than Bekah. I really like following these two, but we do not have a lot of books in common, so this was a little bit of a challenge, but that's okay. And then I saw on Chloe's favorite thrillers of 2025, she had Evidence of Mercy by Terri Blackstock, which is book 1 of the Suncoast Chronicles series. And this series, I have read it a number of years ago. My note just says pre-2015, because that's when I started recording when I read the books in the notes. And so I don't have an actual date for it. But book number 3 of this series is one of the books on my rereads priority bingo board. So I'm like, okay, well, I really want to start the series from the beginning, like restart the series from the beginning and not just dive into book 3 because it's been so long. I don't know if the books connect with each other, similar setting, like I don't really know. But this is a suspense book. And then I'm like, well, what other options do I have? So that's the only repeat book that I had with Chloe from her favorites that were on my want to read list. So then I went over to Bekah's to see what she had as favorites for 2025. And none of her books were on my want to read list for 2025. So then I was like, okay, well, I could go for 3 points and do, anything they've rated 4 or 5 stars. And there was a couple books there that, Before We Were You by Lisa Wingate, they both Chloe and Bekah rated 4 stars, maybe 5 stars. They both gave it a high rating anyways. And it's on my want to read list, but it's not one of the priority books for this year. And I'm like, maybe I could do that. Then Bekah for sure also had The Day the World Came to Town by Jim DeFeet, I think that's his name, about September 11th and Gander opening up, like planes landing in Gander, Newfoundland. So I do want to read that one. It is on my priority list for the 10 self-destruct books because I've had it on my TBR and I just want to read it. But it's also one I kind of want to read closer to September. And I'm like, maybe. So then after much thought, I was like, I'm just going to go for this one because it just made the most sense because it's on my priority read. Well, not this book, but this series. And I need to start with book number 1, right? So I think that made the most sense and it could give me 5 points. So then it led me to what book so I've got this one on audio. I should have said that. So this is going to be my audio book. Then the ace was going to be for my physical book. As I said, 3 of the books on my TBR that I want to read in February, I only have available on physical. Like I can't read them on audio. So then I'm like, but they're all romantic suspense books. And this one is a suspense. I would assume there's going to be some romance in it, but it's suspense for sure. And I don't normally listen to the same genre as what I'm reading physically. But we're going to try it this time and see what happens. It might be a little bit challenging, but we'll see. So the book I decided to read physically is called Following the Trail. So here's the Following the Trail by Lynette Eason. This is a bind up of 2 books. Both of these books are actually on my February TBR, but book 1 is Following the Trail, and the second book in here is Dangerous Mountain Rescue. There's the thing. So Following the Trail, Dangerous Mountain Rescue. And so I'm going to start with book 1 in here for my ace. And I decided to go with this one because it's a shorter book than the 3rd book that I have on my TBR. So maybe I could read this one and be finished and then draw another card that won't be a suspense while I'm listening to this one on audio. So we'll see. If it becomes really difficult reading a suspense and listening to a suspense, I will just stop reading this, I think, and continue and just switch between audio and physical for this, I think. And I'm saying this would be the one I would stop because I need an audio book in the mornings when I'm getting ready for work. And because this one's the one I have on audio, this is the one I would have to start reading physically to finish it quicker. So we'll see. I'm going to challenge my brain and we'll see how it works. So those are the 2 books that I am going to be starting this week with. Well, it is Monday evening now, and I thought I would update you on the books, but I don't really have much of an update. But my Monday has not gone as I hoped it would go. I had the day off work today, so I thought, I could film a couple videos while Andrew's at work. I could work on some editing, and I could watch some of the Olympics. I don't know why I thought I could do all that. Oh, and I was planning on cleaning my makeup brushes. Well, my makeup brushes did not get cleaned. I edited my weekly long vlog, my weekly reading vlog. Got that edited, is exporting now. I did eventually film a video, hopefully for Saturday, but I have a feeling I might have to redo it. I'm really hoping I don't. I struggled so bad filming that video today. Like, I started it, got halfway through, messed up, like and they weren't parts that I could just like edit out. Like, I just was all over the place, or really winded, or not talking about the right book that I wanted to talk about. Like, it was just, I don't know where my head was. It just was not on filming, apparently. I did get it filmed, or I was finally like making good progress, and then our home phone rang. Yes, we still have a home phone. And then I was like, really? While I'm filming, I don't want the ringing phone in the background. So I paused, let the phone do its thing. It was spam, as you know, expected kind of thing. And then I went back and tried to pick up where I left off, like kind of refilm before the ringing happened. I don't know how successful I was because I haven't watched the clip yet, because I was working on editing the other video, and with it exporting now, I can't watch it. So we'll see. I'm hoping. If not, I will have to refilm on Wednesday, I guess. I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens. I probably should have just stopped and not filmed, but yeah. Then I made lunch, and I was still eating lunch when Andrew got home from work. I'm like, yeah, crazy. So I did, though, start Evidence of Mercy this morning as my audiobook while I was getting ready for the day. I have got 40 pages in. I'm on just starting chapter 6, and it's coming back to me a little bit. Like, this incident that happens at the very beginning, I remember happening, but I don't remember where it goes from there. So we will see. But I thought I would give you the first chapter or first sentence of both books I'm reading. So in this one, it says, Solitude, the perfect name for the toy that defined Jake Stevens. Not because he liked being... I don't feel like I read that right, but I did. Okay, let's try that again. Solitude, the perfect name for the toy that defined Jake Stevens. Not because he liked being alone. Like, what does that mean? What's going on? I will tell you that Solitude is the name of the plane. So the plane is the perfect toy for Jake. So we'll see. Then in Following the Trail by Lynette Eason, the first sentence is Lacey Lee Jefferson was worried. Why is she worried? What's going on? I don't know. So I haven't even started this one yet. It's what I'm going to sit down and read now while my video is exporting. And so, yeah, that is the plan. So I will check in again tomorrow when I've hopefully made good progress in this book. Well, it is Tuesday evening and I'm just getting ready to start sprints. So this is going to be a very quick check-in. And I am reading Following the Trail. I am on page 126. I expect to finish the book number 1 tonight. We'll see how it goes. I did also find it on Kindle Unlimited, so I was able to read on my Kindle in bed last night, so that was nice. And I listened to Evidence of Mercy this morning as I was getting ready for work. And so far, reading 2 suspense books at the same time hasn't affected me. In this one, they are searching for a killer. And in this one, a plane accident has happened, and we know as a reader that it was sabotage. They don't know that yet. And so we're trying to kind of see what's going to happen. I'm still fairly early in this one, but I mean, my Kindle says 20%, or my audiobook says 20%. So we'll see. So page 76 and page 126, did I say? So I will check in at the end of sprints to let you know how far I've gotten and what happened. It is now almost 11:30 and I'm getting ready to head to bed. I have signed off the sprints, but I thought I would update you quickly on how the sprints went. I finished Following the Trail by Lynette Eason, which is the first book in this bind-up. And we are following Lacey, who has returned to town after 6 years away. She is searching for her sister, and she is a canine handler. She reconnects with her ex-boyfriend, Creed, who is the local sheriff. And they're trying to figure out what happened to Lacey's sister. And so they are working together, trying to solve it. And it comes apparent very quickly that somebody does not want them to find the answers because they are being targeted. So a number of things happen that kind of keep them on the edge of their seat, on their toes. Where is it safe for them? And we meet a few of the community members to try to, as Lacey's trying to figure out. And maybe the community doesn't have the opinion of Lacey and her family that Lacey thought, and that was why she'd stayed away from town for so many years. And during that investigation, things are revealed and they get closer and closer. Before it's actually revealed who is behind what's happening, I had suspicions. I'm like, I don't know, something doesn't seem right about this person. And I was correct. I'm like, I like when I can figure it out. I didn't know completely exactly. Like, some of it took me by surprise. So I liked that. I liked the edge of the seat, the suspense. Like, could I solve it before they solved it? The thing I did not like about it, when they did solve it, at that point, it is really like in the heat of the moment, right? And all of a sudden, one character says something, and it was like, wait, you didn't have time to do that because you just got out of that. Like, there was absolutely no time for that to actually happen. And how can that happen? And then for the relationship-wise, they dated for a number of years. Then Lacey left town because of something that had happened and didn't feel like she could come back. And so they broke up. Well, now she's back, and they've been in this high intense situation for a short little period of time. And the relationship goes somewhere that I don't think is realistic. I don't know. Yeah. But that's kind of what happens a lot in these books. And so, yeah, I'm going to give it 3.5 stars because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the characters. And I was kept guessing, and I liked that I could figure out some of it. But there was just a couple little things that just kind of irked me, which is why it's going to be a 3.5 instead of 4. So when I finished that, we still had a little bit of sprinting time left. So then I just switched over to listening to my audiobook. So I have made it to chapter 15 now, which is page 89. And I know, or I'm pretty sure I know who is behind what happened with the plane crash. But they haven't really figured that out yet, or they haven't even suspected that yet. So we'll see where it goes from there. We have 2 characters. Jake. I just read a book with Jake. Wow. Jake and Linda, who are both kind of workaholics in 2 different ways, but really like don't have any family. They're kind of loners, but again, in 2 different ways, and self-independent, I guess, really. And one of them especially is really struggling at this point in time. And the other one is going to try to support and realize that they need to make changes in their life, but what is going to happen? So I'm going to keep reading and see. But because I'm doing a deck of TBR and I'm going to get my husband to draw cards for me, but he was in bed during the sprints when I finished this one, which is why I just moved on to the audiobook. Plus, I also didn't want to start another book, kind of almost 11 o'clock at night. So I decided to just continue in this one. So tomorrow, when I get home from work, I will have him draw another card to see what book I will start for my next physical read. So stay tuned. Well, it is now Wednesday evening, and I have Andrew here to draw another card for me because I finished Following the Trail last night. So I'm gonna shuffle the cards because he doesn't like to shuffle, right?
I'll show you how, but
Okay.
no.
No?
I only do that off camera.
Oh, okay.
You're still learning.
Okay, so I guess you can't do that because you'll be able to see. Okay, we'll do it this way. Okay, what did you draw? Just show the camera.
4 of Hearts.
So a 4 is average rating. So a book that is on my TBR for 1 point, a 4 or above. For 3 points, a 3.5 to a 4, or below 3.5 for 5 points. Okay, I will have to look at my TBR and see what I want to read and what rating they have. Okay, I will have to come back because I need my phone for that.
You guys remember my little friend? Say hi to everybody.
Say hi to everybody.
On YouTube.
On YouTube.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, so I'm going to do some research and then I'll be back. After much debating and deciding what to do, I looked at my Goodreads, looked at my owned list, and looked at books that I wanted to read that I could get from the library or through Kindle Unlimited or something. And I had no books under 3.5 rating, which is fine, except it means I cannot get 5 points for sure. So I'm looking at 3 points for a book between 3.5 and a 4-star rating. And I had a few of those. So after kind of going back and forth of, do I want to read another suspense book or do I want a different genre because my audio is suspense? But I also want to finish books, like see how many books I can finish during this readathon and see. So I did want a shorter book rather than a longer book. So I've decided to go with another suspense, and we're going with Flashover by Dana Mentink. It's a love-inspired suspense. And this is one of the 16 books that I wanted to reread. So it's on my rereads bingo board for this year. And on Goodreads, it is rated at 3.96. So it's under 4, but it's pretty close to that 4. And as I was going through my list trying to figure out what I was going to pick, I told Andrew I did not like the card he drew. He better draw better ones next time. So yeah, this is what I'm going to read. It originally came out in January of 2009. It says, "Don't play with fire. Why is a kind-hearted savant setting fire to an ordinary book?" Setting fire to a book? Recuperating firefighter Ivy is determined to find out, but then the young man Mo goes missing, and his only friend turns up dead. Ivy is sure the double mystery is linked to the string of numbers Mo chanted before he vanished. She asks her best friend, computer expert Tim, to uncover a pattern. They make 2 shocking discoveries. They have unexpected romantic feelings for one another, and Mo is in serious danger. They better find him fast, or the truth and their dreams will go up in smoke. So we'll see what happens. But while I was reading Evidence of Mercy today, there was a house fire that happened. And there was a house fire that happened in Following the Trail as well. And now it sounds like there's going to be a fire in this one. Theme this week, apparently. Okay, I will check back in once I've started and made progress in the book. Well, it is now Thursday evening, almost 10 o'clock, on February the 19th. And I have not checked in since Andrew drew the card and I told you what book I was going to read. And I did not get much reading done last night. That's it. just 30 pages. Was it even 28 pages? I was participating in Lucy Sprints in the chat, and I was working on editing Saturday's video, is whatever, author's debut books. And I was scared I was going to have to refilm that video because I just kind of messed up a few times throughout, and then our phone rang, but thankfully I was able to edit out some of the weird stuff and use it. So I did not have to refilm it. Then I worked on trying to figure out how I was going to film my reading spreadsheet video, and I just finished filming that one tonight. So hopefully my footage worked and I can piece it together how I'm imagining it to look. We'll see. I'm really hopeful. So for reading, as I said, I did not get very much in this one, but we have already had the building fire happen, and our main character that we're following is a firefighter. What is her name? I've already missed it. Ivy. How did I don't know. I guess because I only read 28 pages. What was her name? So she was in the fire. She was rescued from the fire and ended up in the hospital. And that's basically where I am right now. Then I continued listening to Evidence of Mercy this morning, and I've now made it to 47%. I am just starting chapter 32, page 160, and our character has just experienced a house fire and escaped, and she was in the hospital for a little bit because of the plane crash. She went to the hospital for the house fire, but she was able to go to her new safe spot, not her home because her home burned down. And so now they definitely know that somebody is after her, and they're trying to figure out who and why. I have a very good suspicion of who it is, but I think the villain perspective has also given away that it's most likely one certain person, but maybe not. Maybe it's like a little trick thing because the villain perspective has never said their name, but we'll see what happens. I'm really enjoying this though and really invested. And we've got another character who was in the plane when it happened. This cover is very reflective. It's very shiny, glossy. Another character who was in the plane crash, and their injuries are much more extensive than the main character, than the female main character's injuries. And the two characters are realizing things that they have in common, and can one encourage the other, or what is going to happen. And while one is experiencing somebody trying to kill them, there's a lot happening so far. So I will continue reading in this, and I'm hoping to make good progress in this in a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if I will, because I want to look at the video I just filmed to see. But yeah, that's really my Thursday. I came home half an hour early from work. I just had such a horrible headache. But after I stayed at work a little bit longer yesterday because I was in a webinar, so it it balanced out in the end. But I came home and I took a nap, and I feel so much better. My headache is there, but nowhere near what it was. And it's probably due to a weather change because we had freezing rain last night, and it's starting to warm up a little bit, but it's still supposed to get cold. So the barometer is definitely changing. So we will see. Yeah, that's really my check-in for right now. But, oh, no, it's not. I have something else. I have another book to scratch, and I forgot that I had this when I finished following the trail in here. So I'm going to scratch this, and we're going to find out where it goes on the board. But I am not moving the camera, so we're just going to do it this way. And it is number 14. So 14 is right there, right beside the other love-inspired suspense. So there we go. So 2, 4, 6, 7 books so far in the first 7 weeks of the year. Is that right? How many weeks are we in? I don't even know where my calendar is. I don't know where my calendar is. It's sitting on my desk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, that's funny. It is the 7th week of the year. And I've read 7 books that go on here. That's nice. But I think it's going to slow down now because I don't have any more on my TBR for this month anyways. So we'll see what happens. It is now Saturday, February the 21st, and I thought I would come in for a quick update because I finished a book yesterday. I was battling a headache Thursday and Friday. It got better Friday morning, so work wasn't so bad, but then like by Friday evening, it had returned with a vengeance, and it was much easier to listen to a book than physically read a book. So I listened to Evidence of Mercy by Terri Blackstock, and I finished it last night. And I'm just going to read the review that I wrote for it. Yes, I wrote a review. Technically, this was a reread, so my review I wrote before, and I've just updated a little bit. Okay, so I said, I really enjoyed this book. I like that the author had the characters questioning their faith and beliefs, and such as, were they a lukewarm Christian? How do you share God's love to others? Why does God let bad things happen? How do you forgive someone who has really hurt you? The way these questions were presented throughout the story, apparently I can't read off my phone. The way these questions were presented throughout the story really got me thinking about what I believe. I really like when a fiction book gets me thinking about my life and how to live for Christ. In regards to the suspense story itself, I felt like the characters were very well built and each had their own imperfections along with their strengths. Jake's reactions to his situation were very believable and felt like anyone in his situation would react very similar. Even though we do find out who the bad guy was very early on in the story, it was interesting to see how it would play out. Would he succeed in his attempts, or would they escape, and if so, how? Would they be able to figure out who was behind it in time? The story moved at a good pace, and there was not parts that felt like it was dragging. I felt the characters grew as the story went along, and I liked who they became at the end. I really like getting the villain's perspective in the story because you kind of see them plotting and planning. And then when it comes to the main characters we're rooting for, when they go to do something, it's like, don't do that. Don't do that. Because I knew what the villain had done. And I felt exactly like that. It was like, oh no, what's going to happen here? And so, yeah, I was so invested in the story and the characters, and I loved the friendships that developed between the characters. There is a minor romance that happens, but it's barely starts in this book. And I'm pretty sure we see these characters later on as the series continues, so maybe it'll develop a lot more. I don't know. But I really enjoyed it. What really got me thinking is at the beginning, the two main characters, Jack and Linda, are up in the plane, and it looks like the plane is going to crash because there's a mechanical issue, or there is an issue. And so the ground control says to them, do you want me to call anybody? And they're both like, who do we call? Because they've been living such career-focused and self-serving lives, both of them, that they have no one close to call. And this kind of really opens their eyes and changes kind of the course. And then with all the threats on various lives, what is going to happen? I was so invested in the story, so I highly recommend this book. Give it a try. It is book 1 to the Suncoast Chronicles series. So book number 2. What is book number 2? Let me see. Because this is book 1, it doesn't tell me. Suncoast Justifiable Means is book 2. So we'll see what happens. Then I have been trying to physically read Flashover by Dana Mentink since whenever Andrew drew the card for this book. I have not made it very far. I am on page 70, chapter 9. And honestly, I'm struggling to connect with these characters and knowing what is going on. Like, just what is the point? So we've got Ivy, who is a firefighter who is injured in a building collapse. So she is currently off work, recovering from the injury. She's got her best friend, Tim, who is a computer tech, something with like the fire department or the police department or something. I'm not exactly sure what he does, but he is a very strong Christian, and Ivy is not. She is struggling with her faith due to her situations in her past, especially because of what happened with her sister. And so she's really struggling with that. But she's also trying to figure out something that's going on. It looks like she might have a stalker or somebody in her building is being stalked. And so she's not really sure. I feel like it's really unclear what is going on and how Ivy and Tim get involved in like researching, like trying to dig into a mystery of something. I'm not fully understanding at this moment, but it is still early. Like, as I said, I'm only 70 pages in, so we'll see. I do hope to get more of it read today and know kind of what's going on. Andrew is currently off at a men's breakfast, but when he gets home, I'm going to have him draw another card for another audiobook to see. I don't expect to finish it during this readathon because the readathon finishes tomorrow. But my other two books that are remaining on my February TBR are both physical reads. I cannot get them in audio. So that means I need an audiobook to read. So I figure I might as well use one of the TBR prompts to get an audiobook. And I do plan on washing my makeup brushes this afternoon, and I always listen to a book while I'm doing that. So I need him to draw a book for that. So really this morning has been fairly relaxing. I woke up early because I went to bed early last night. And so I was watching some of the Olympics. Then I got a call from the pastor and I had to send out an email because a church member has passed away who was in hospice care. So it was expected, but yeah. So then I watched more of the Olympics. I did a load of laundry and I got ready for the day. And now I'm just waiting for Andrew to get home. So I will turn on Olympics again because why not? And I will work on reading some of this. This afternoon, I do plan on editing a video I filmed and hopefully writing some reviews because I have fallen behind and I don't want to get too far behind. I want to stick with my goal. I'm at my goal right now because my goal was to write the review within a month of reading it. And it has not been a month on any of the reviews yet, like any of the books yet, but it's getting pretty close. So I need to update that. And really, I need to update Goodreads because it's really behind right now. So that's my plans for today. Okay, so we have Andrew here to draw another card. Are you ready?
I'm always ready.
Are ya? Oops. Apparently I couldn't shuffle.
Don't worry, folks. I'll show her how to shuffle.
I'm still waiting for that.
I'll do it off camera.
Okay. Please be a good one. You gotta show them. So an 8 of diamonds. An 8 is... Oh. Okay, so 8 is a book in a series. 1 point is to start a series. 3 points is to continue a series. And 5 points is to complete a series. And I already know. I have an audiobook. I think I have an audiobook for Lake Bride by Shanna Hatfield, which is book 5 in the Holiday Brides series, I think. I'm gonna check. Yes, it's book 5 of the Holiday Bride series, and it would complete the series. And I needed an audiobook, so that works perfect. Thank you.
Well, it's perfect just like you.
Oh,
Right?
thanks.
And I can't afford to give her 8 diamonds, but I've given you some diamonds. So maybe later on we'll get some more diamonds someday. Who knows?
For our 25th? Or 30th?
You sure you'd want to stay with me that long? 25 years? Well, that's like a life sentence for you.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, I did it. I cleaned my makeup brushes and I just use Dawn dish soap. It works the best. And I started listening to Lake Bride. It is now Sunday afternoon and I just heated up a cup of coffee in my Ireland mug. I love this mug. We went to Ireland for our 15th anniversary. Well, we did England and Ireland, and it was so much fun, and I just love this mug. Okay, but I came on to say I finished Flashover last night. I had like 18 pages left when I was getting ready to go to bed. I'm like, I have to finish it. I have to know what happens. And I have to say, I've had some complaints about the way the relationships end in these love-inspired books. And this one ended nicely. Like, it felt very realistic. I really liked the way it wrapped up at the end. Throughout the story, though, I still have no idea what Tim's actual job was. I don't know. But he was supportive of Ivy and like trying to help her through and encourage her to turn back to God, that God is there for her, even though she feels like God has let her down by taking her sister. And I liked the way like the faith was talked about and discussed between Ivy and Tim, between Ivy and her mother. And I really liked that aspect. And the mystery side of they're trying to search for somebody who's gone missing, who might be in trouble. And Ivy's dealing with a stalker. And are they connected? Most likely, yes. But are they? And we do get perspectives of the villain multiple times throughout. However, we know that the main villain is working for somebody else, and we don't know who that somebody else is until like very late. And when it was revealed, I was like, oh. And then there was somebody else that gets involved, and I was like, oh boy. Like, yeah, so it took me through a ride. But I am giving it 3 stars because there were some things I just don't think were developed enough. And just there were things that was like, wait, that couldn't have happened that way. Because like, I don't know. There was just things that just kind of bothered me. It's hard to explain. But it definitely kept me invested in the characters. And I was much more invested in Ivy's and Tim's personal relationship. And kind of some of them searching for the missing person. But then like why the people are going after them was part of I didn't get fully on board for. But that's okay. I've enjoyed it. I can mark it down as read. And I can pass the book on to somebody else. And I have started Lake Bride by Shanna Hatfield yesterday on audio. Then I listened to it this morning as I was getting ready, and I am loving this book. I am so invested and just want to keep reading because this is the book I also have on my Kindle, but I'm trying to use it as my audiobook. It is book 5 of the Holiday Bride series, and when it opens, it's set in Arlington Cemetery in Virginia, right? Yeah. And I'm like, wait, that's not Holiday, Oregon. How's he going to get there? How does this connect? Because like he's in the military and stuff. And I was like so confused. My answers have been answered. He is now in Holiday, Oregon. And I'm like, okay, what's going to go from here? And I love that we're seeing a connection to the founders, like a family relationship, to the founders of Holiday, Oregon, who I have met in previous Shanna Hatfield books. I have to go and search and see where she first shows up and where Evan first shows up. But yeah, I'm like, because I don't think I think it's the historical series, one of her historical series where they show up, because the Holiday Brides is all a contemporary setting and these people are like generations back. So we'll see, but I'm really enjoying it so far. And Luke Ardeen, I think is his name, is the narrator, and he's really good at narrating. Like, I want to see what else he's narrated. He's done a lot of Shanna Hatfield books, but I wonder if he's done others. So I'll see what else is available by him. But now I'm like, okay, what book do I want to start today? I have Last to Fall by Lynette Blackburn and Dangerous Mountain Rescue by Christy Barritt on my TBR yet for the month that I haven't read. And which one of those am I going to start? I don't know. But I really just want to sit down and read Shanna Hatfield's book. But that's my audiobook. I can't do that. So what I'm going to do is I have the deck of cards here. So I'm going to draw a card and I'm going to see if I can match one of my two books to the prompt I get. If it works, that's what I'll do. If it doesn't work, well, I don't know. We'll see. I just feel like drawing another card, basically. So I'm going to shuffle them up. Okay, and we're going to cut the deck so that you know I didn't stack it. And the card is a 3 of diamonds. So a 3, I have no idea. So February holidays, 1 point, Black History Month, 3 points, President's Day, 5 points, Chinese New Year. I have no idea how to use those prompts. I'm going to draw a different card. I'm not going to count this for points anyways, so we're just going to take the very next one. Oh, apparently I didn't put it on the bottom. Okay, we're going to take the next one. A 9 of clubs, so a 9. On the cover, pink or red, 2 people, or heart. Does Last to Fall have 2 people on the cover? I don't think so. No, has 1 person. Okay. And Dangerous Mountain Rescue has a dog. This is not working in my favor. And Lake Bride has no people. Okay, 3rd draw. Let's see what happens. And we have a 10. 1 initial, 2 initials, 3 initials. Your initials in the title. Okay, well, I don't have 3 initials. And neither one of my books has a J in the title. But Andrew has 3 initials. ADS. And Dangerous, ADS. Dangerous Mountain Rescue. That will be the one that I'm going to start. And that will finish off the 2 Last to Fall. No. I was like, does Last to Fall, but it doesn't have a D in it. That will finish off the 2 books in 1 bind up for Following the Trail, which I don't have that book with me, but I do have that book physically. So that is the one I'm going to start. Well, thank you for helping me choose. Even if I did have to draw 3 times the pick. But as I said, I'm not even going to mark it down as part of the deck of TBR because I won't finish it today. And today is the end of the readathon. But that's okay. So I am going to enjoy my cup of coffee. And then I am going to write a couple of reviews. And then I will start reading. I'm coming in Sunday evening to close out this vlog for the week. And so the rest of the day, I watched a bit of TV. I did some editing. I wrote some reviews and I did some reading. And I participated in Bekah and Chloe's sprints. And then I switched over to Krista's sprints. But I did not get a ton of reading done. And when I look to see where I am, I'm like, I didn't even finish a chapter. I must have stopped for the chatting part and then I never picked it back up. I went to editing. Oops. So I am in the middle of chapter 7 of Dangerous Mountain Rescue. I can't tell you how many pages because this is a bind up. I'm on page 301 of the bind up and there is 472 pages. So I have 170 pages approximately left. So we'll see how it goes. Right now, we have met the two main characters, Aaron and Dylan, and Aaron is searching for her teenage daughter, and Dylan is the search and rescue with the canine, and so is helping her try to find her daughter. That's pretty much where we are right now, and it's snowing. Really? Why am I reading another book with snow? Set in North Carolina. So this week, it was a suspense-filled week for sure because I completed Evidence of Mercy by Terri Blackstock, which is book 1 of the Suncoast Chronicles series. I read Flashover by Dana Mentink, which is a love-inspired suspense book. I read the first book in here, Following the Trail by Lynette Eason, which is another love-inspired suspense book. Then I started the Dangerous Mountain Rescue, which is the second book in here, so obviously it's a love-inspired suspense book. And I did also start Lake Bride by Shanna, Hatfield, which is not a suspense. The only thing it has in common that it is contemporary. And for the 3 books that I did finish, they all had house fires in them. Like, wow. What are the chances that all 3 have a similar storyline happening? I'm really hoping there's no fire in the Dangerous Mountain Rescue because they're already on a mountain in the National Forest. I don't even want to try to say the name of this forest because I know I will not pronounce it correctly. I've heard of it. It's PSAGH, I think. I'm not 100% sure. But, I mean, they're already dealing with snow and being on the side of a cliff and stuff. They don't need to deal with a fire as well. So I'm hoping there isn't one. But yeah, so that is my check-in for the week. And at the end of the deck of TBR, I got 13 points. I was really hoping to finish one more book, but that was really unrealistic of me to get that because... I mean, I feel like I kind of lost 2 days of reading when I was reading this one with my headache and trying to edit and stuff. So, but I mean, that's life. Stuff happens. I can't spend all my time reading, even if I want to. But thank you for taking the time to watch this video this week and stay tuned for future videos. Have a great day. Bye.